This is why we have a therapist on set. Shyamala Kiru is now trying to understand why Jillian is so aggressive to Mitch.
I get mad because he can do these things and I can't.
So you're really, really frustrated with yourself. You're really angry with yourself. Right?
Because I want to do it.
Right. And essentially, I think you end up emotionally abusing him.
Yeah. And I feel bad because he's so nice.
Do you know where this is going to lead you?
Alone.
How has Mitchell tolerated the abuse this long?
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Nice to meet you.
It's great to meet you.
I let her do this because I feel it's easier for her just to get it out of her system than for us to spend hours and hours and hours fighting about it.
But my question is, how long are you going to let it go for?
The rest of my life.
You're not. There's
But-
no way. There'll be a breaking point and you won't be around anymore.
I guess you're probably 100% right. But up until that point, I don't know any other way to deal with it.
Can we explore an alternative strategy?
Of course.
If the way that she's speaking is rude and disrespectful and out of line, you need to tell her that. She might absolutely lose it on you once you start standing up to her.
But I just got to deal with it.
Tell her, you gotta stop, or stop the car, I'm getting out. And you need to be willing to deal with that. It will get worse before it gets better, it always does.
Mm-hmm.
She really needs to overcome this fear and anxiety. Up to now, her strategy has been to avoid it. What I've asked her to do is actually own the discomfort and do it anyway.
Shyamala and Tim are watching every move the bad drivers make, alongside our high-speed instructor. And that's where this woman comes in. Shyamala Kiru has been the therapist at the Driver Rehabilitation Center for the last 4 years. And she's just learning that Renee, a single mother, isn't living a full life due to her fear of driving.
So what's the biggest thing that you'd like to get out of this whole experience?
I want to be able to drive anywhere
Okay.
without having a panic attack.
At home in Winnipeg,
Oh, God.
Renee panics every time she drives faster than 50k an hour.
I don't want to anymore.
Because she tells herself there's going to be a crash.
Oh, I can't breathe. It's what you're saying to yourself that's creating that fear. It's not driving.
Yeah, that makes sense.
25-year-old bank employee Jordan has embraced being a bad driver because it's easier than trying to be a good driver.
I don't want to set expectations if I don't meet it because I don't really like feeling failure.
Do you remember when it started or what sort of triggered this?
Growing up, being gay basically my entire life, everyone always knew that. You know, like I was the gay one, and children back then, they weren't as understanding. So at the end of the day, I just had to stop caring.
In his vehicle, Jordan does care how he looks, but not how he drives. To care more about driving, Jordan suggests he should read and write about it, particularly when it comes to lessons that involve multiple steps.
So would it be helpful if we got you some cue cards and you were able to write the steps down and maybe post them on the dashboard?
It probably would. I think so, yes.
A few days ago, Polly crashed and drove 40 meters off of a rehab center course. And during that uncontrolled event, she says she was unaware of her surroundings.
I probably put myself somewhere I'm not going to get hurt here. And I lost focus and didn't take my foot off the gas and I didn't hit the brake, but I was in a safe place. I wasn't going to get hurt.
In your head?
In my head.
Driving on real roads in and around her hometown of Perth, Ontario,
Keep your eye on the green light for me, please.
Holly cannot afford to space out like that.
So I wonder if a strategy that we can talk about is really staying in touch with all of your senses while you're driving.
Jillian says that she is so scared of driving.
I don't go anywhere. I'm always home, always. I just go to work and go home, and that's my comfort zone.
So it sounds to me a bit like you've maybe kind of disconnected or disengaged from things that you don't like.
Yeah, but I know that's not helping, but it makes me feel better.
In Newfoundland, avoiding driving may make Jillian feel better when she's home alone.
Every time.
But when she does have to go somewhere, her lack of driving experience makes her sob uncontrollably behind the wheel.
What you thought was a solution has actually now become the problem. You know, guys, we've had tons of people on the show that have struggled with confidence and anxiety, and we see how that affects their driving. But Jillian's really unique in that her skill level is up here and her confidence is way down here. When she showed up in rehab, she wouldn't have tolerated the thought of Mitch being out of the car, and now look at her, she's calm. Ready to go for a ride?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Shyamala is taking Jillian out for some public driving.
So I want you to actually shift your mind away completely from the idea of getting into an accident and focus on what you can actually control.